Welcome to Value Plays Only, where we only cast our commanders for emotional support. Today we have John, playing Yuriko the Tiger Shadow. This deck looks to control the table while flipping big cards off the top for massive damage. His hand contains a Sisay the Infiltrator, Moth-Dust Changeling, Flare Malice, Vampiric Tutor, Chrome Mox, Hydroelectric Specimen, and Synchronous Duper. Tyler's playing Sisay, Weatherlight Captain. This 5-color tutor chain has 0-card win lines it can tutor to the battlefield if it makes enough mana. In addition, it plays all the best value pieces 5 colors can offer. His hand contains Touched Spirit Realm, Ragavan Nimble Pilferer, Tropical Island, the Sage Who Endures, Marsh Flats, Scalding Tarn, and Wooded Foothills. Cammy is playing Tasigur, the Golden Fang. This evolution list looks to ladder Tasigur into massive threats. It plays several infinite mana combos with Tasigur and Thassa's Oracle. Her hand contains Thassa's Oracle, Mystic Remora, Deathrite Shaman, Banishing Knack, Ancient Tomb, and Verdant Catacombs. Her Luna Mulligan is a Survival of the Fittest. Dan is playing Ob Nixilis, Captive Kingpin. This is a Rakdos Storm deck pretending to be a stacks deck, loaded up with 1 damage ping effects to generate massive card advantage through Ob. It can win with Agatha Soul Cauldron or Dualcaster Mage. His hand contains a Demonic Tutor, Red Elemental Blast, Mox Amber, Entomb, Gemstone Caverns, Polluted Delta, and Ancient Tomb. And with that, let's see some value plays. Dan has a pre-game action. He puts a Gemstone Caverns onto the battlefield, exiling Red Elemental Blast. John then takes his turn. He plays an island for turn. He casts a Chrome Mox. It resolves, and John imprints Sisay the Infiltrator. John then casts Moth-Dust Changeling. He passes the turn. Tyler plays a Wooded Foothills for turn. He pays life and cracks it, fetching up a Plateau. He casts Ragavan Nimble Pilferer. He then passes the turn. Cammy plays a Verdant Catacombs for turn. She pays life and cracks it, fetching up an Underground Sea. She casts Mystic Remora. In response, John casts Vampiric Tutor. He searches up a card at the top of his library and loses 2 life. Mystic Remora then resolves. Cammy then passes the turn. Dan untaps and plays Polluted Delta for turn. He pays life and cracks it, fetching up a Badlands. Dan then passes the turn, with a suspicious 2 mana left up. John untaps and draws. He plays a Hydroelectric Laboratory into play untapped, paying 3 life. John goes to combat, swinging Moth-Dust Changeling at Cammy. Cammy declares no blocks. John activates the Commander Ninjutsu ability of his commander, Yuriko the Tiger Shadow, returning Moth-Dust Changeling to hand. Yuriko enters tapped and attacking Cammy. She takes the damage, and Yuriko triggers. John reveals a City of Brass, adding it to his hand. In the second main phase, John recasts Moth-Dust Changeling. All finished, John passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He plays a Marsh Flats for turn. He goes to combat, swinging Ragavan at Cammy. She takes the damage, and Ragavan triggers to make a treasure and exile Mana Vault off the top of her library. In the second main phase, Tyler casts Cammy's Mana Vault from exile. Remora triggers, and Cammy draws. He then pays a life and cracks Marsh Flats, fetching up an Underground Sea to the battlefield. Tyler then passes the turn. Cammy untaps, and in her upkeep, Mystic Remora triggers, and she pays to keep it around. She plays an Ancient Tomb for turn. Cammy then passes the turn. Dan untaps and plays his own Ancient Tomb as land for turn. He taps out for his commander, Ob Nixilis, Captive Kingpin. Ob Nixilis resolves, and Dan casts Mox Amber. Remora triggers, and Cammy draws. Finished up, Dan passes. John untaps and draws. He plays a City of Brass as land for turn. John goes to combat and swings both of his creatures at Tyler. Tyler takes the damage, and Yuriko triggers twice. The first trigger reveals Kaito, Bane of Nightmares, with each opponent taking 4. The second reveals Opposition Agent, with each opponent taking 3. Finished up, John passes the turn, with 4 mana held up. Tyler untaps and draws. He plays a Tropical Island for turn. Tyler goes to combat, swinging Ragavan at John. John takes 2, and Ragavan triggers. Tyler makes a treasure and exiles Tetsuko Umezawa off the top of John's library. Seeing a legend that can get Ragavan in, Tyler casts Tetsuko from exile. He follows this up with a Springleaf Drum. Mystic Remora triggers. In response, John casts Orcish Bowmasters. It enters and triggers, pinging Ragavan for 1, killing it. Cammy then draws. Bowmaster triggers to ping Dan for 1. Springleaf Drum then resolves. Tyler taps Tetsuko through Springleaf and taps out for a Sakashima the Imposter, threatening to take his own Bowmasters. John can't let this happen, and casts Flare of Malice, sacrificing Orcish Bowmasters as an additional cost. Remora triggers, and Cammy draws. Flare then resolves, and Dan and Tyler sacrifice their creatures. Sakashima then resolves as a copy of Yuriko that is named Sakashima. After all this, Tyler passes the turn. Cammy untaps, and in her upkeep, she lets her Remora die. She misses her land drop and passes the turn, holding up a suspicious 3 mana, discarding to hand size. Dan untaps and draws. He plays a Mountain for turn. He can't get to Ob Nixilis again, and has to pass the turn. John untaps and draws. He goes to combat and swings everything at Dan. Dan declares no blocks. John activates the ninjutsu ability of Kaito, Bane of Nightmares, returning his Orc army to hand as cost. Dan takes the damage, and Yuriko triggers 3 times. The first trigger reveals Sakashima Student, with each opponent taking 4. The second trigger reveals Brainstorm, with each opponent taking 1. The final trigger reveals Scalding Tarn. In the second main phase, John plays Scalding Tarn as land for turn. He activates the Zero Loyalty ability of Kaito to surveil 2 and then draw 3. John then pays a life and cracks his Scalding Tarn. Cammy responds with an Opposition Agent. Sadly, Opposition Agent resolves, and Cammy gets to look at John's hand and search up an Underground Sea into exile. John, out of gas for the moment, has to pass the turn, discarding to hand size. Tyler untaps, and in his draw step, he takes one from his mana vault. He plays a Mount Doom as land for turn. Tyler goes to combat, swinging his Sakashima Yuriko at John. John takes the damage, and Yuriko triggers. Tyler reveals Eladamri's Call, with each opponent taking 2. In his second main phase, he casts his commander, Sisay, or the Light Captain. Tyler then passes the turn. Kami untaps and draws. She plays Underground Sea from exile as land for turn. Kami casts Imperial Seal. She searches up a card at the top of her library and loses 2 life. She then delves most of her graveyard to cast her commander, Tasigur, the Golden Fang. Kami then passes the turn. In our end step, Dan takes 2 to cast Ad Nauseam. Ad Nauseam resolves, and Dan starts exiling. He exiles Rakdos Signet, Mox Diamond, Demonic Tutor, Underworld Breach, Firebrand Archer, Marsh Flats, Agatha Soul Cauldron, Imperial Seal, Blood Crypt, Everflowing Chalice, Shivan Gorge, and Pyretic Ritual, deciding to stop there. The turn then moves to Dan. Dan untaps and draws. He casts Mox Diamond, discarding Arid Mesa as it enters. He plays Shivan Gorge as land for turn. He casts Pyretic Ritual, adding 3 red mana. Dan then casts his commander, Ob Nixilis, Captive Kingpin. He casts a Firebrand Archer. He then casts Everflowing Chalice. Firebrand Archer triggers. In response, John casts March of Swirling Mist, exiling Sink into Stupor as an additional cost, targeting Ob Nixilis and Opposition Agent. Kami casts Mindbreak Trap, targeting March and Chalice. The spells are exiled, and Firebrand's trigger then resolves, pinging each opponent for 1. Ob Nixilis triggers to get a counter and exile Bolus's Citadel off the top of Dan's library. Dan casts Dragon's Rage Channeler. With no path to victory, and on the brink of death, Dan has to pass the turn from here, discarding to hand size. John untaps and draws. He goes to combat, swinging everyone at Tyler. Tyler declares Sisay as a blocker to Kaito. He then takes the rest. Yuriko triggers twice and Kaito dies. In response, John casts Brainstorm. After a lot of debate from the table, Brainstorm resolves. John draws 3 and puts 2 cards from his hand back on top. The first Yuriko trigger then resolves, revealing Temporal Trespass, with each opponent taking 11, and Dan dies. The second trigger reveals Sakashima Student, with each opponent taking 4. In his second main phase, John delves most of his graveyard to cast Temporal Trespass to take an extra turn. Tyler and Kami exchange worried looks, but Trespass resolves. Tyler asks Kami what she has if she isn't stopping this, and she responds, "I'm just planning to win," when he fizzles. John plays Shizo, Death Storehouse, as land for turn. John then passes the turn to himself. John untaps in his next turn. He plays a Swamp as land for turn. John goes to combat, swinging both creatures at Tyler. Tyler declares Sisay as a blocker to Mothdeath Changeling. He then taps Sisay through Springleaf to cast Swords to Plowshares, targeting Yuriko. John responds by activating the ninjutsu ability of Sakashima Student, returning Yuriko to hand as cost. Sakashima Student enters as a copy of Tyler's Sakashima the Imposter Yuriko. Swords then fizzles, and Tyler takes the damage. Yuriko triggers once. With all the hope in the world, John reveals Demonic Consultation, with each opponent taking 1. Sadly, John has to pass the turn here. Tyler untaps, and in his draw step, he takes 1 from Mana Vault. He casts Mox Amber. Tyler goes to combat, swinging his Sakashima Yuriko at John. John takes the damage, and Yuriko triggers. Tyler reveals Oath of Teferi, with each opponent taking 5, and Kami dies. In his second main phase, Tyler casts Oath of Teferi. It resolves and triggers, exiling Sakashima the Imposter. It enters as a copy of John's Sakashima Yuriko, hoping to keep up enough blockers to live. Tyler passes the turn. In his end step, John casts Opposition Agent. The turn then moves to John. John untaps and draws. He casts Demonic Tutor. He searches up an Entomb and casts it. Entomb resolves, and he searches up a Wonder into his graveyard, giving all of his creatures flying. John plays Verdant Catacombs for turn. He pays a life and cracks it, fetching up a Watery Grave, into play untapped, paying 2 life. He casts Imperial Seal, as Tyler begs him to just get it over with. John now notices Tyler is within death range from combat damage. He just swings out at Tyler, and Tyler takes the damage, dies, and with that, John wins the game. So, what did we learn today? If 1 Yuriko isn't enough to kill the table, the second one will definitely finish him off. If you have any tips for the video, leave them below. Subscribe if you feel like it. Until next time, keep making value plays.
Double blue. I'm gonna have Sakashima the Imposter enter as a copy of Bone.
I'm thinking with Sakashima.
Before you did whatever you
did,
did, I do plan to kill your board at some point. So if you're gonna do that, then do it.
I will sack Bowmaster's cost to cast Flare of Malice. Can you imagine if you had Yuriko and Tetsuko?
I was like, yo, this feels pretty sick. This feels pretty alright.
That's fucked up that your ninja board is better than mine. So I'm gonna Surveil 2, draw 3.
In a good spot.
100%. He just drew 7 cards this turn.
I know, he's freaking running away with it. It's like a Tolly, dude.
I hate Dan. I hate him.
I don't have any, like, I'm so low, I don't think this goes anywhere. Dude, I know someone in the YouTube comments is gonna be like, dude, Dan should have seen this. Oh man, if you just did this one thing.
I've been there, brother.
I hate this one weird trick. 11.
There it is.
Yeah.
And 4. That's 15.
Yep.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah. Alright.
Fine at 9.
Alright, at least I made it.
I'm dead next turn.
Next his turn?
Probably.
He's not gonna make it to his next turn.
Sorry.
He's
Absolutely.
got an extra turn. He just showed us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a temporal trespass.
Let's go with me.
It will enter as a Sakashima the Imposter with Yuriko's ability.
Yeah.
Yo, I'll let you in with Yuriko.
Shush.
Cammy. Dude, you could kill Cammy
Quiet
with
down over there.
Is it Yuriko Lita?
it. Light.
Yuriko.
Lita. Yes, Cammy, that is the traditional
Mexican
pronunciation.
Yuriko.
Yeah. That's the only thing going to be in the blooper.
Doesn't it say Yuriko Lita?
Yuriko trigger.
Yeah.
There it is, a 5.
5.
Oh my god.
Cammy died to Yuriko
Big
anyway.
gambles,
That's
Cammy.
crazy. Wow. She beat the Yuriko deck, but not the Yuriko deck.
No.
Yuriko Lita too
Yuriko
strong.
Lita.
Yuriko Lita.
What's gonna happen? Hang on, let me be yes.
Wondering.
I just have to fetch one. I need to have the mana. I see that you don't do anything, but it's fine. I'll make it faster.
Wonders Engraved, they have flying, right?
You have a mana up. Yeah, I
I have
will.
this mana that pings me for 1.
I will cast Imperial Seal.
Oh my god, John, kill me. This
I
is the Dan- this
I
is
have
the
to
Dan-
guarantee it.
kill me.
I have to guarantee
It's
it.
the Dan equation.
Just wait 1 second.
The
I
Dan
promise.
equation.
I'm just putting it on top.
I'm dead to the combat damage, so you don't get the trigger.
You're right. I actually forgot about that. Okay. Good. Good.